All right. Welcome and thank you for joining us Welcome and thank you for joining us for another XenTegra webinar. Let's get rolling here. All right, so for today we're going to focus on Intune management, specifically enhancing and streamlining it with Nerdio. So we'll do a quick introduction of our panelists, go through just a couple minutes about XenTegra, and then we'll get into the meat of it. We'll have questions at the end, and I'll be keeping an eye on questions. We do mostly want to save them to the end because there's a lot of things that will that we'll be going through. A lot of questions might get answered in line, so you can always ask at any time, but we might go through and save those for the end, just for a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm Andy Sulak, Microsoft Practice Director for XenTegra, and I'm also joined by Brittinee Dennis, Sales Engineer and Intune SME for Nerdio. So a little bit about XenTegra. I'll just spend a couple minutes if you're not familiar with us. XenTegra is a value-added reseller. I'll go into a little bit more. What was created about 13 years ago by Andy Whiteside, our founder, who really worked with the channel. And so there really was a need for more enablement and partnership, and not just the transactional nature of a lot of the partners in the channel out there. So for XenTegra, we're a global company with a next door feel, mostly situated in the United States, but we also have a presence in Canada for nearshoring, and then we also have a presence in India for offshoring as needed, as well as round the clock or follow the sun coverage, as it were, for any of your managed services and project needs. Our mission is to engage, listen, and deliver the appropriate enterprise technology to clients of all sizes, whether you're small business or all the way up to mega enterprise. And what we're really striving to be is that VAR 2.0, as I mentioned before, breaking the mold of traditional VARs by focusing on what really matters is your success, what you need from a real partner. As part of that, we do a lot of community events around the country to get people together. We like to do a lot of in-person events as well as webinars just like this, because they're focused on educating and bringing value, not just transactions. As another part of that, we also offer 90% off conference passes. We have Microsoft Ignite coming up as an example, as well as several others that you can kind of see in the background, because we want to make sure that our clients are educated and get that education and information so you can make better decisions. Really, you need this to run your business, and we want to help you do that. We also offer complimentary micro assessments that are at no charge across a myriad of different technology stacks to really put together a one-stop shop for whether it's consulting, hosted managed services, several different levels of support, near and offshoring, and then reselling of solutions in the tech industry. Across our business units, we have managed services, modern applications, security and networking, modern data center, and then modern workspace, which actually in Microsoft practice, my practice falls under, and then also have a particular focus on small and medium business. And a little bit of a menu slide across the different areas that we provide services and products in through deployments, consulting, and the different disciplines. And really, we want to get to, boil it down to a simple blueprint, best vendors, top consultants, fully managed services, or different levels of that come from real world experience to result in better productivity, better environment, better situation for you to run your businesses through and enable it with technology. But also paying attention to nonprofits. We have our nonprofit arm of XenTegra, which is XenTegra Cares, which is where we not only do events to support nonprofits, but also have discounting for nonprofits because we also want to bring enterprise solutions to nonprofits that do a lot of good in our in our communities and across the world. We work well with others, as we have our slide that gives just a few of the partners that we work with, which has netted us a number of industry awards over the years, and continuing keeping with that focus, keeping with the tenet of putting our clients first. And that's what we call the XenTegra difference. So that was that. We're going to get into it right now. So I'm going to hand it over to Brittinee. So whenever you're ready, Brittinee, you can grab the screen and dive in.
Absolutely. Give me just 1 second. And let me know when you guys can see my screen.
I can see it. I think we're good.
Perfect. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. So utilizing Nerdio Manager for Enterprise for Intune has been one of our biggest accomplishments. We took Intune and we wanted to see if we could simplify in different aspects of management. As you can see, when you enable Nerdio Manager for Enterprise for Endpoints, you will get a single pane of glass. That's what you're seeing right here. It's your all device blade. So your all device blade will encompass every platform. We have the capability to manage Android, AVD, iOS, Mac, physical endpoints, and also cloud PCs. You'll also see from the drop down, it's going to give you a high level of what's going on and pertaining to your devices. You'll see we have some AVD hosts, we have some Windows 365. You'll see that device name, the device details of the device, how it's joined, the version, if it's in a particular SKU, if it's a cloud PC, along with any provisioning details that apply, a high level of your compliance. We have some recommendations that will also populate due to analysis, and the last time the device did synchronize. Now, if you did need to get some details pertaining to the device, you can hit this details blade and it will bring you to your properties blade. You'll have a high level overview that will include your Enter ID and your Intune device ID, along with your device group memberships that can be edited or changed via Nerdio as well. Your compliance is going to give you a high level of all of the policies that pertain on the device. And if you do need to deep dive those policies at any time, you'll navigate to the policy blade and select that policy, and the individual settings will populate below. Now, for updates, if you're utilizing the classic standard update rings or Windows Update for Business, you'll have the capability to view the status of them here. Also, make any changes in the profile. Any applications that will pertain to the device will populate here. Any scripts being run on the device will also show. Now, if you do have user experience enabled in your tenant today, we do also integrate that information on 2 different variables. So you'll be able to see it as a device and also as the tenant as a whole. Right here is on the device, and that is Microsoft's metrics that is run every 30 days, just to let you know how you're doing across those 4 parameters, whether it's endpoint analytics, startup performance, or application reliability, or your work from anywhere. That hardware blade is exactly what it is. It is going to give you all of your hardware information when it pertains to system, operating system, free and available storage, if it is a mobile device at INEI, and all of your network details along with conditional access. If you have privileged rights within Nerdio, you do have the capability to rotate BitLocker keys, along with rotate local admin passwords. It's not going to populate for me. I don't have it configured in this demo today, but you do have that capability. And you can see also your cloud PC connectivity status to make sure that everything is running sufficiently. If you have any device actions that are pending on the device, they'll populate here for you, let you know the status and when it was done. And if you are utilizing Defender, you also have the capability to manage your security and AV directly with Nerdio. Now, depending on my rights as an admin user, I have different options pertaining to the devices. So if I hit a drop-down arrow, you'll see I have the capability for this AVD device to run a sync, to restart it, run a quicker full scan, rename the device, retire it, delete it, update my Windows Defender, or rotate my lapse password. Now, if I have to do initiate something when it comes to my cloud PC, I have a different variables of actions that can take place pertaining to my admin role. So I have the ability to run a quick and full scan. I also can restart, re-provision, restore, or resize that PC with a touch of a button. We also have our Console Connect feature, and that Console Connect feature will give you remote access into any Windows PC that's included in our program. Now, as we go to policy management, you'll see we have the capability to create, edit, and restore all of our devices. And it's across all of our policies as well. So it's going to be compliance, configuration, security baselines, conditional access, your Intune app policies, and your Windows update policies as well. Now, where we have an enhancement in our program is we have the capability to configure automated as well as manual backups of these policies and assignments. So I have the capability, and I'll show you the manual process first, where I can come and create a backup. I can name that backup, and it will create that backup and store my repository. Then if at any time I need to manage my backups, I can select manage backups, and I will get a log of every time that policy was changed, who initiated the change, when the change took place. And depending on my rights, I have the ability to restore that policy to that previous version, restore the policy only, restore the policy in assignments, or restore the assignments only. Now, a little bit of disaster recovery, and it happens all the time. Let's say accidentally, someone in Intune deletes a policy. Well, there's no way to restore that policy. Well, now if it is deleted via Intune or on Nerdio side and you have a policy backup that is enabled, this is going to light up the orphaned. So you'll see a policy that will populate here, and you'll have the capability to restore that policy, and it will recreate it both in Intune and Nerdio. While it won't assign it directly to those users, you do have the capability to then assign it to the security group or whatever you have, but without having to recreate that policy. It's a pretty cool feature. Our policy reports will show you the success rate of your policies being deployed. So you can see with our device compliance policy, we pushed it out to 2 groups, a total of 15 devices. We had 1 that was showing compliant and 8 that are showing not compliant. So if we need to deep dive that because we only have a 7% success rate, we can hit that details tab, and it will show us every time the policy showed an error on this particular device. And if we need to get even further for troubleshooting, we can hit this details blade, and it will bring us back to that individual device properties and let us see what error is applying. So we can see that the device is active, the enrolled user does exist, but the policy isn't applied. And we can see that Intune error of the 65001 that is being populated for remediation. Now, configuration issues. When devices are enrolled and integrated with Nerdio, anytime that you have a possible policy conflict, it is going to highlight it for you here, and it will put it into different categories. So you can see with our policy conflicts, Nerdio has done an analysis of your policies in your devices, and it's going to let you know if there's a potential conflict that lies. You could hit view details. It will then populate a flow chart, and you can see from the policies, we have 2 policies that are the same. You can see the individual setting, but we can see that the value does not, they're different. So they just aren't the same. And then within our assignment, you can see this user is a part of both of these groups. So this is going to show a non-compliant user as it has a policy conflict. So it is providing some remediation. So this way you know exactly which policies need to be remediated to get this user back up and going.
That makes it so much easier to track down.
Yes, it's way more efficient and way quicker when it comes to than the traditional needle in the haystack. It shows a policy conflict, and you're trying to figure out where and which device has that policy conflict.
Yeah.
Now, I want to highlight our Intune Insight page. We got a lot of feedback from our customers that Intune has a vast amount of data, and it's great because it holds all of this information. But sometimes to get the information out that you need can be a little cumbersome. And unless you're proficient in Power BI or Intune Data Warehouse and pulling that O data, it's a little hard unless you're using, different tools and specifications. So we wanted to simplify that. So here's our Intune Insights page. And one of the great capabilities is this whole dashboard is customizable per admin. So depending on the admin and what they need to see on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly basis, they can create their own dashboard, and all of the widgets can be moved or adjusted. And you can also add additional widgets of different reports that you need to be readily available for you. And I'll clear that. But all of these you can see. So you can see we have 86% of our devices are compliant. You can see our devices, the ones that are inactive. And if we need to deep dive any of these, you can touch, at a click of a button, you can touch it and get it there. So we can see our top issues. It'll bring us to our issues blade, and it will give you a list of all of the top issues that are going on for remediation. And if we need to deep dive into the particular device, you select that device, and we can see for this device, the last time it synchronized was 9 days. It's showing compliant. We have a high patch status, and the warranty status is unknown. So if we navigate over to our patches, we'll be able to see every time a patch has been installed, along with any patches that are overdue for remediation. When we navigate to our config policies, we'll be able to see all the policies that were applied and are successful. We have our CIS baselines, our defender policies, but we can see that we have some certain policies that we need to check because they are showing unhealthy, so we can deep dive those too. When it comes to managed applications, we'll be able to see all the applications that are pertaining to the device and check their status. And another cool feature that we have is with our applications, you'll be able to see all the applications that pertain on the device and the individual versions and the installs. And our usage will now populate depending on the license usage. So if you need to see how many licenses are being used, you can see your license availability. And up and coming, we're going to have some metering as well. So you'll be able to see actually how many people are actually utilizing these particular applications and if they really need them. Our OS Health will provide clarity on all of the devices and their support, if we're there with support, and their end of life. If you do have any certificates that are pushing onto the device that are near expiration, they will populate here. And we have our trends. So with trends, we have the capability to make any edits when you're doing your configuration of what makes something red or amber and an alert, and when it should be alerting, your IT team. A lot of times in Intune today, the day after Patch My Tuesday, everything is red, which is not really accurate because there's just no way that you can get every device patched on Tuesday. It goes in waves, and it's just different trends. So you can actually configure when something will turn red, when something will turn amber, so you can make sure that your trends are accurate for your issues. What I highlighted with our issues blade, it will do them based on severity from your issues, so you can go and remediate them. In an upcoming update, we're actually going to have to where you can integrate with a third-party service provider. So if you have like a ServiceNow or a Service Desk, you'll be able to integrate that over here, and that will populate for you to create those support tickets as well. When it comes to reports, we have a list of different variable reports. So you'll be able to see different reports that are automatically built in for you. We have our warranty, our list of inventory for devices. If you need to know your free and available disk space, your Intune certification and when that's going to expire, all of the mobile devices, you'll be able to pull that up easily right here. Now let's move on to our applications. When you integrate Nerdio with Intune, you have the capability to also create repositories. So if you're currently utilizing Intune for your application deployment, or you have a private or public winget, you can actually integrate it into Nerdio. It will then all populate in your unified catalog, and you can push out and deploy and assign different policies. You can import an application, extract that file, deploy it. When we come over to deploying of policies, you'll be able to configure different policies for deployment. And you'll be able to see, you will name that policy, set the description, and what you want it to do. Do we want it to install the application? Do we want to uninstall? And the order that you put the list of applications is the order that it will deploy on that device, on those devices as well, which is a pretty neat feature because right now it's kind of applications just deploy when they deploy. So you do have that capability. You also can decide if you want it to be deployed via AVD or if you want it to be deployed via Intune. So you have a lot of granularity there as well. You can even configure maintenance windows. So when you want the application to deploy for you, and then view your deployment status to make sure the application was successful and everything is showing compliant. Now I'm going to highlight some of our RBAC roles. So with role-based access, we got a lot of feedback that they're great, but a lot of the built-in roles sometimes provide too much permissions and they needed to make them more granular. Now, in Intune, you can create custom roles, but sometimes creating those custom roles, it's kind of hard to decide which permission is needed to do what task. So we tried to take a more simplified approach when it came to our RBAC roles. Here you're able to create an RBAC role. Oh, I went the wrong place. Hold on. You're able to create an RBAC role. And then depending on what part that you're looking to manage, and we're talking about Intune today, so we'll go to Intune, I can create different roles. So for this admin help desk, I can decide if they're going to have a read-only. They'll still have the global reader option and the GA option for Nerdio. But I can also build out a policy that is either by the task. So do I want them to read the device? Do I want them to read the policies? Do I want them to be able to manage device groups, manage user groups? You'll build out exactly what task and what options you want them to be able to see. Then when I save that, then as a user logs in, if it doesn't pertain to me, it just doesn't show up. So like you'll see earlier when we went to our different actions for our devices, those options are completely grayed out for me. They're just not available because it's not part of my admin role. So you have that capability of just, it's not even available for them. Your admin can sign in, do the task that they're allowed to do, see the information that they're allowed to see, and everything else is just kind of removed. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of how simplified it is to do an integration into Nerdio for Intune. You'll navigate to your settings and environment. You'll go to integrations. Then when you hit Intune, you'll see the configuration. And this is how seamless you can configure. So you do initially need a GA of Intune to do the initial configuration. And we now have two options. So you can configure in the regular mode, which uses a service principal, and that's how all the management goes. But you do have the granularity to decide what gets managed by Intune, what is only read-only, and what's managed on Nerdio as well. So you can decide, okay, we want to manage our devices, we want to manage our group membership, we want certain things at read-only. We can even get as granular as to limit the scope. So depending on the devices that I want to come over or to ingest, do I want all of the different devices that we are managing? Or is my team specifically only focused in AVD or only specifically focused in physical endpoints? You can configure them here, as well as you can even limit by certain device or user groups, and that will pull in for you as well. We've now enhanced it even further. For some more granularity on security, you can do a user operation mode. So our user operation mode, which is in preview, allows all of the configuration to be as a delegated read only. And then depending on that particular admin that you enroll, they will have specific manage options available. So whatever fits your need, depending on your security use case. Okay. I do want to highlight some of our capabilities. So just so you know, we do all platforms. So you do also have the capability to provision cloud PCs as well and configure them for the deployment as well as the management. So you'll have those capabilities, and all of those policies also can be backed up and restored for security and benefit. All right, back to you, Andy.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brittinee. I know for my part, working with Intune and we'll say other incarnations of it prior to that, the reporting and analytics has always been, it's been there, but it's been tough. So having the flexibility, a lot of a lot of great features, but the reporting was always a challenge.
It's
And
always
so
been tricky. Yes.
yeah, it's always been tricky. And then getting the analytics and I love the customized dashboard. In addition to the policy conflicts, tracking those down has always been difficult and nuanced. I'm trying to be
A little
nice when I
tedious,
say that,
yes. A little tedious.
yeah. And then also just being able to back it up, which we really haven't had or had good solutions for that. So I love the different parts of that. So I was just looking to see if there are any questions. Oh, I guess there was a question, but I think they um, got the answers to that. So yeah. So if anybody has any questions or any areas that they'd like to dive a little deeper into, please put them in the chat. We'll give a couple moments to see if anybody else has any other questions. One that just came in. Can we see the patch compliance report options?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get it to share.
Mm-hmm.
It's not liking me right now. Hold on. It's spinning.
Okay.
All right, you should see my screen.
There it is. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You guys see my screen? All right, perfect.
Yes.
So if it's pertaining to a particular device, this is where you would see it here for the patching reports. It will have a list by the device, and all this can be exported as well, of every time a patch has been installed or if it hasn't been installed, and the overdue status for you. And you'll see the OS build and when it was released and how it was overdue. And all of these can be reported out and be exported as well. What I've actually didn't highlight is that we are working with different vendors as well. So if you, right now we have Dell. If you get your PCs from Dell, we're working on HP, Lenovo, and Microsoft itself. We can actually integrate that and use that as well. So you'll be able to see those as well for you. So you'll be able to see if the warranty status has expired, depending on your manufacturer.
Hmm.
I forgot to highlight that.
Okay.
But see, I could pull all these and just export it seamlessly into a CSV. And there it is for me.
Nice.
Yeah. Of course, it's thinking. But yeah, so you'll have that capability. See? And then we have all of it called out for you guys. The corporate ownership, the manufacturer. So all those details will pertain in that report for you.
All right, nice. Okay, a couple other questions. One that came in, is this essentially additional features of the AVD automations, or is it separate?
A lot of it is additional depending if it's the Windows 365, they have some particular enhancements and features because we did work closely with Microsoft, but it is an enhancement. So anything that you can do with your Intune physical, you can do with AVD as well. So
Okay,
we've
but
just
you could, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, we've just
Yeah.
expanded it. So like your policies for your AVD, they can also be backed up. Everything across all of the platforms can have the same capabilities now.
Yep. Okay, great. And then a question on the pricing structure. It's the UEM, which Unified Endpoint Management License, which is $1 per Intune user per month. What constitutes an Intune user?
Okay, so it's $1 per user per month for Intune users that don't have an AVD. So it goes by the UPN. So if you're already using Nerdio Manager for Enterprise for AVD, you already have Intune.
Mm-hmm.
That user already has Intune capabilities. So that's what would be the additional charge would be the $1 per user for anybody who is not using Nerdio. So the licenses don't overlap. So you're not paying two different charges.
Okay. And is it per user as in, like, let's say somebody has two laptops or a desktop and a laptop.
Per
How is
user,
that? Per
unlimited
user.
devices per user, and it's assigned in per month. So it's by monthly usage.
Okay. Got it. All right. Thank you for that. And then for the patching, next question. For the patching and compliance dashboards, can those be shared out?
The dashboards themselves cannot be shared out. They can be created for each person, but we don't have a way we don't have it to where you can clone it because I know like there's certain platforms where I can create it. It can be Brittinee's dashboard, and then John can come in and sign up and be like, oh, I want to use Brittinee's dashboard. Right now, they're just for the individual admin.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you can customize it, but it's each right now it's each admin that goes in and
Correct.
customizes it.
And then there's the default dashboard. So you'll have the default dashboard that everybody sees,
Mm-hmm.
but then the individual ones are created.
Okay. And you can create, like, for yourself, you can create multiple dashboards.
Yes, you can
Okay.
have multiple dashboards.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? And hopefully those were sufficient answers for those that posted those. Any others? All right. Well, Brittinee, thank you so much for coming on and going through this. I think this, huge advantages for Intune. Love love to see Nerdio expanding through management of the M365 stack. We'll be posting this. We'll send a follow-up email to all the attendees. We'll be posting this, and then any questions that come up, please reach out. Even if it's something you want to learn more about and see how it can benefit you in your environment for Intune. With that, we'll close out and we'll send our follow-ups. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll be in touch with everyone soon.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks.